This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, y'all. Now, let's talk about this, man. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders. Let me say it again. Reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders. The truth of the fact that matters is, why are you sitting here making such an effort, an erroneous effort in reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders mindset to try to prove to us that Tyson Fury's glove was legit? When you showcase only moments and period of times that his hand is being wrapped, that's what classic dopes and trophy dice. Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Boys. Ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. People that are, i.e. dodo heads, brain full of mush and brainwashed followers that don't understand the full weight and the full gravitude of everything. See, I'm not a novice, dog. This ain't my first rodeo. So when you present microcosms of stuff to try to say that it's cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truth, what you're proving is it's reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders. You can't negate the truth. The camera was off in a huge fight for 30 plus minutes. I know this to be true because I've had people report back this shit to me. For 30 plus minutes. How is the camera off for 30 plus minutes? Now, unless you have footage that you can show unquestionably and unequivocally that throughout the whole duration, we're talking about prior to the hands being wrapped, the gloves itself, the gloves being showcased, everything that's associated with the glove. I'm gonna give you an example. When Floyd Mayweather was fighting, right? When Floyd Mayweather was fighting Marcos Maidana, there was the glove. Go look at how that whole situation was being basically checked to the T to make sure that nothing happened. Leonard Ellaby was lording over the damn situation. If you had something like that happening on both sides of the aisle, that would have been different. We saw footage, you brain full of mush and you brainwashed followers, of Kenny Bayless sitting there lording over Deontay Wilder when Mark Breland was looking over the gloves. Why didn't we see footage in Tyson Fury's camp? It should have been mutual. It should have happened on both sides of the aisle. And like Coach, Barry said, they know they unpadded those damn gloves. They know they switched the damn gloves. This is a guy who's an expert at the sport. And he understands when corruption, fixing, and rigging is happening at its truest and its most properest levels. I told you guys, man, Hino's Sport has a dichotomy because he's an ultimate truth teller. He comes in truth-telling fashion. Guys are always either one or two things against Hino's Sport. Either they trying to debunk Hino's Sport, which you can't debunk the truth, because if you try to debunk the truth, you showcase yourself as erroneous. You can only line yourself up with truth. I keep telling everybody, you have to align yourself with truth. Otherwise, you reveal yourself as an erroneous reverse bias, aka detractor, aka panderer. That's the truth of the fact of the matter. You can't go against corruption. You can't go against fixing. You can't go against rigging. You can't go against the illegal shit that happens in boxing. Boxing has a lot of illegal shit that don't make no sense. Because it's a three-pronged monster. I don't know how many times I gotta educate you guys on this stuff. Boxing's been a three-pronged monster from the jump. What am I saying here that's not the cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truth? Economics, politics, and then pugilism. Pugilism is last. Pugilism is not even the big thing because on the grand scheme of things, economics, these are the mobsters, the mafia people, the people that really, really, really run boxing. Not the promoters, not the advisors. These are the second-tier people that get basically the instructions from the powers that be. The people that really, really, really run the sport from a dirty and dark standpoint. People don't understand how deep this shit goes. You ask these fighters, they tell you. And every time they tell you, because they're a low-level fighter or they don't have a marquee name, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But they're the ones that's putting their life on the line. They're the ones that have to sign these corrupt contracts. They're the ones that have to sign these dirty contracts that have fixing and rigging involved into it, corruption to the highest degree and the highest order. Hino's Sport is coming to you guys in cold-hearted, unadulterated, cutthroat truths. If you're trying to preserve the sport so much to the point to where you can't expose the sport when the sport is doing something fundamentally wrong, then you are a reverse bias, aka detractor, aka panderer. Let me say it again. If you're trying to preserve the sport, even when you know fundamentally deep down, even your gut is telling you that something is wrong, then you are a reverse bias, aka detractor, aka panderer. This is why I keep trying to tell you guys. The truth will have its day. The truth hurts, but it will set you free. Why would Coach Berry put his namesake on the line, his jeopardy on the line, to say that shit wasn't right? Because we should have saw footage on the camera of both locker rooms when the glove was getting put on. All this stuff about the cut man and all these people doing this shit after the fact, it doesn't fucking matter, folks. That shit don't matter. Because if it's not happening at the time that it's supposed to happen, then something is fundamentally wrong with that picture. Why turn the camera off? Now, if Tyson Fury was doing this against a dud, i.e. a Tom Schwartz, or i.e. Otto Wallin, I could understand that. These are cherry picking fights. These are bum bashes. So you expect for a guy who has a namesake and a star ability to do some fixing, rigging, and corruption against bums, right? And nobody's gonna say nothing. No one's gonna look the other way because this happens too in boxing. But this is Deontay Wilder of all people. This is an epic star of epic magnitudes and epic proportions. Why would something like this happen? Because it goes back to what Bob Arum and Frank Warren said. They said it was going to be a trilogy before the first fight was thrown in the first punch. And here's the problem with us as black people. We don't fucking question anything. We think that everything is what it is. We get so caught up in the pugilism standpoint of boxing, we don't allow our brains to be in three-dimensional thinking ability and question everything. Even guys that I respect, and I have the utmost respect for them, are not questioning this shit. You know why? They're getting caught up to opera singers. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me say it again. Yeah, 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 yeah. You can't just rock what he knows is sport when you like what he knows the sport is saying. You also gotta like the fact that it's a caveat that he knows the sport is going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear, even when you don't want to hear it. Let me say it again. It's a caveat that he knows the sport is going to tell you what you need to hear and not just what you want to hear, even if you don't want to hear it. Because the truth of the fact of the matter is the gloves were unpadded. Basically, Tyson Fury was hitting Deontay Wilder with his bare fucking knuckles. And Coach Berry alluded to this. This is what tampering of the gloves is. We've seen Tyson Fury showcase this inept and cheating ways in the Christian Hammer fight. Go look at everything that was associated with that. Go look at how the referees got on his ass. Even in Wilder and Fury 1, his gloves was loose. Once your gloves are tied to your hand, it can't be loose. Anyone that knows boxing knows this shit. Because a lot of times your gloves are so fucking tight, especially with the tape that's wrapped around it, they gotta go and get these big ass plier type scissors to cut the gloves. We've seen this. This is stuff I'm talking about. You're punching Deontay Wilder and your gloves is going at 45-degree angle variations instantaneously and interchangeably at so many different variations throughout the fight. Basically, your wrist is at the basically end of the damn gloves. That's why it's doing that 45-degree variation. Because if your hands are all the way in the gloves, they don't fucking bend like that. Anyone that knows boxing knows this shit. So when you sit here and you defend that, it speaks to your reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panders. And I told you guys, there's no such thing as an unbiased person. That shit don't exist. And anyone that's trying to tell you that, they're a classic built-in tropopax. Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brain. Ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. Dodo heads, brain full of mush, and brainwashed followers. You can't sit here and justify that nonsense. Because when you try to justify that nonsense, it reveals you as a reverse bias, aka detractor, aka panderer. Because like I told you, there's no such thing as biased people. It's either you're biased and balanced, like he knows the sport is, or you're biased and unbalanced. Let me say it again. It's either you're biased and balanced, like he knows the sport, or you're biased and unbalanced. Biased and balanced means that you are biased to the people that you like as fighters, but you're balanced in keeping that same energy all across the board. Biased and unbalanced means that you're a reverse bias, aka detractor, aka panderer. You're biased to the people you like, but you're unbalanced to the people that you don't like, and you're always critical of them. That's what you're getting. This is why I say reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panderers. See, I needed to do a video like this to basically give you the scientific form of henosis sport, to break this shit down to the T. This is what you're getting fundamentally from these reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panderers. This one trick pony of let's keep it boxing, 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 and still be biased to their fighters. Because trust and believe, if Deontay Wilder was the one that was alleged and then damn found guilty of tampering gloves, they would have banded his ass, they would have suspended his ass, and he wouldn't have a fucking boxing license. Let me say it again. They would have banded his ass, they would have suspended his ass, and he wouldn't have a fucking boxing license. That's the systemic issue and the fundamental difference. The reason why they don't want to come after Tyson Fury is because he's their great white hope, and they believe in masterful dupery that the powers that be has done to these one-trick ponies. Let's keep it boxing, 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 let's keep it boxing. That you guys actually saw a fight, when what you saw was a manufacture of corruption. Let me say it again, that you guys actually saw a fight, but what you saw was a manufacture of corruption. That's the truth of the fact of the matter. Tyson Fury had to cheat, because how do you go from being a pillow fist puncher to a sandlot puncher? And he still didn't even knock out Deontay Wilder. That tells you everything he needs to tell you, because that speaks still to the volume that he's a pillow fist puncher. Because he had a TKO. There's a fundamental difference in boxing between a KO, which is what Deontay Wilder has, 95.35 KO% power stoppage ratio, which you can't take away from him, and what Tyson Fury gave you, which was a TKO. There's a fundamental difference between those two. And Deontay Wilder never got knocked out in that fight, and he was never in any trouble to where he was knocked out. He got hit by fucking bare knuckles in his damn ears that threw his equilibrium off. Tyson Fury cheated to the core, and that's how he won that fight. And if people are being real with themselves and using what we call the true boxing eye test, they could see this for what it is. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, I apply what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts pipes. Bursts the damn pipes, folks. This is Henosis Sport, bringing you that what? That heat and that fire. This is Henosis Sport. Check it out.